The can cracked open with a hiss. A brown stream of Coca-Cola splashed across the white marble desk and onto Maya Roberts, the only black woman in the entire department. Laughter filled the open concept office. "Oops," sneered Chloe Madison, the senior account manager with too much perfume and too little empathy. "Guess we just found our diversity project for the quarter." Her words dripped with cruelty. Everyone watched. No one spoke. Maya stood frozen, soda dripping from her hair, her blue blouse stained with sugar and humiliation. The sound of Chloe's laughter echoed off the glass walls. "Come on, Maya," chuckled Evan, the marketing associate filming on his iPhone. "It's just a joke. Loosen up, don't be so sensitive." A few nervous chuckles joined in, others looked away. Because in that Manhattan office, silence was easier than courage. But Maya didn't flinch. Not this time. She calmly reached for a napkin, wiped the soda from her wrist, and said in a steady voice, "You just made the biggest mistake of your lives." Chloe raised an eyebrow, amused. "Oh, really? What are you gonna do, call HR?" Evan laughed. "Or maybe she'll tweet about it. #injustice, right?" Maya glanced at her watch. A simple silver Patek Philippe that none of them had ever noticed. She checked the time. 15 minutes, she murmured under her breath. No one understood, but soon they would. Exactly 15 minutes later, the private elevator, the one no one in that department ever used, chimed open. 3 security guards stepped out, and behind them came a man whose presence silenced the entire floor. Tall, sharp suit, steel gray eyes that had seen enough boardrooms to own half of Manhattan. Elias Sterling, CEO of Sterling Global, the billionaire majority owner of the company they all worked for. "Maya," he said gently, his deep voice cutting through the tense silence. "Are you okay?" You could have heard a pin drop. Chloe's fake confidence shattered. "Wait, you know her?" Elias turned to her, expression hard as stone. "Know her. She's my wife." Gasps rippled through the office. Evan's phone slipped from his hand. For a second, time froze. Then reality crashed in. Elias's gaze fell on Maya's soaked blouse, the Coca-Cola dripping down her wrist. His jaw clenched. "Security," he ordered. "Escort every person responsible for this humiliation out of the building, now." Chloe stammered, You can't do that. You don't even work here." Wrong. Elias took a slow step forward. "Sterling Global owns this company, which means this is my building, my people." He turned to Maya. "And no one disrespects my wife, or any employee, under my roof." As the guards began leading Chloe and Evan toward the elevators, Maya spoke softly. "Wait." Everyone turned. "I want them to understand why they're leaving." She walked calmly to the front of the room, opening a presentation on the main screen. The title glowed, Project Athena, Predictive Marketing System. "6 months ago," she said, "I proposed this system to revolutionize our analytics, but it was rejected because someone said she's too junior to understand data strategy." Evan swallowed hard. He'd said that. Maya continued. "What you didn't know was that I built the system anyway. I patented it last week under Sterling Global." Chloe blinked in disbelief. "Wait, you own that?" "No," Maya replied calmly. "We do. And starting today, the profits will fund scholarships for young black women in tech, including those who've been told they don't belong." The room went silent again. But this time it wasn't shame. It was awe. Elias motioned to a man stepping out of the elevator. James Lynn, the company's chief legal officer. He began handing out thick folders. "Inside," he said, "is documented proof of harassment, discrimination, and evidence of today's assault. Every message, every clip, every comment." Evan turned pale. "Wait, that was private. You can't—" "Private?" Maya interrupted. "Like when you secretly filmed me and posted it in your team chat? Or when you tagged me in memes about diversity hires?" Chloe looked like she might collapse. Maya's voice never rose. It didn't need to. "You spent months trying to humiliate me," she said quietly. "But all you did was give me evidence. Evidence that will make sure no one else goes through what I did." 2 weeks later, the incident became front-page news. Billionaire CEO fires racist executives after attack on black employee. Social media exploded. The clip of Elias walking in went viral, earning millions of views within hours. But the real story wasn't revenge. It was what came next. Maya launched the Athena Initiative, a $50 million fund dedicated to empowering black women in data science and AI. Within a year, hundreds of scholarships had been awarded. And the same building where she'd been humiliated now bore a new plaque: the Maya Roberts Center for Innovation and Inclusion. At the grand opening, Maya stood at the podium. Reporters flashed cameras. Former employees, the ones who had stayed silent, stood watching in awe. "When they threw coke on me," she began, "they thought they were destroying my dignity, but they didn't realize they were fueling a revolution." Applause erupted through the hall. "Justice," she continued, "isn't about getting even. It's about building something bigger, because true strength isn't how loud you shout in anger. It's how much change you create in silence." 6 months later, Chloe tried to sue for wrongful termination. Her case was dismissed, the evidence too strong. Evan applied for dozens of jobs, but every background check brought up the story. Meanwhile, Maya's initiative had expanded across 30 companies, with Sterling Global mandating new equity policies across its subsidiaries. And that viral moment, the coke, the humiliation, the calm, became known worldwide as the Maya effect. Professors taught it, CEOs quoted it. Because sometimes, all it takes to expose an entire system of prejudice is one person refusing to break. In a quiet moment backstage after another award ceremony, Maya scrolled through her phone. A message had arrived. "Dear Mrs. Roberts, I just got accepted into the Athena program. I'm the first person in my family to go to college. Thank you for standing up that day." Maya smiled softly. The past no longer hurt. It inspired. As she looked out at the skyline of New York, the city that once mocked her, she whispered to herself, "They threw coke on me, and I built an empire out of it." Because some stories don't end with revenge. They end with rebirth.